Today I'm going to tell you exactly what a woman is looking for in terms of a partner. And I'm making this, usually I don't do dating advice videos, but I've seen so many recently that either miss the mark, skirt the outside of the edges, or don't give you the whole picture, that I felt the need to weigh in and tell you exactly what women are looking for. And I've had several decades of figuring this out. Now before that, let's take a look at my long-term relationship CV. Here's my first wife. We got married in our early 20s, and it lasted for about 23 years, and then we simply grew apart. It didn't work. Here's the girlfriend I had after my first marriage. We were together for about 7, maybe 8 months at most, and then that simply didn't work out either. But I was 44 when we started dating, and she was 27. Now, here's my second wife. We currently have a wonderful relationship. We've been married for about 5 years. We have 2 fantastic kids, and I could not be happier. It's just been amazing. I got married to her when I was 46 and she was 33. Now, admittedly, I do prefer younger women because they have the type of energy that I'm looking for. But before you say, oh, well, it's easy for you to pick up girls because of whatever, let's take a look at me for a second. I have one ear. I have only a right ear. I never had a left ear. I was born without a left ear. I currently have a gigantic white patch on the left side of my face from a failed plastic surgery attempt that I have never bothered to get fixed because I simply don't care. I'm about 20 or 30 pounds overweight. My BMI is 27.6, and for me, that's kind of low. I have no fashion sense. This is from Costco. My outer shirt's from Costco. My inner shirt's from Costco. My pants are from Costco. The socks are from Costco. And these shoes, these are my idea of fashionable shoes. And they're running shoes that I've worn out to the point that I can't use them to run, but I still like them, so I wear them out into town thinking they look good. They're filthy, they're worn out, they're dirty, but I still like them, so I still wear them. That's my idea of fashion. I had to sit down and make a conscious effort, or what's a better way to put this? I had to sit down and tell myself not to wear my usual slippers, my Adidas slippers and socks while I filmed this. Otherwise, that's what I would have done. And I looked down right before I hit the record button and saw that. And remembered, hey, maybe that's not the best look. Even I know that. But it's what I'm comfortable in. And you know what? My wife doesn't mind. And did I mention that she's a doctor and she works enough to make the income for our family, so I am fortunate enough to stay home and take care of the kids? That to me this is my perfect life. This is my perfect relationship that I'm currently in. So, what did it take to get here? Well, I'm going to tell you something to set the stage, and you're going to laugh at it. You're going to think it's absolutely ridiculous, and you're not wrong, but it's also very true. And that is, every woman that wants to be in a relationship is looking for a relationship, and vice versa. And you're going to say that that's telling you nothing. Well, let's think about this. What that means is every woman who's available and is looking for a long-term relationship wants you to be her partner, and she's evaluating you when you guys first start dating, and she's open to the idea of you being her long-term partner. So when I was younger, I had a lot of problems picking up women. Picking up is such a bad term. Breaking the ice, going out with women, starting to date, even having the gumption and the bravery to go out and start talking to women. I was certain that they would not want me because of my ear, because of the way I looked. Also, I haven't had hair in 20 years, since I was in my early 30s. But do you think that matters? No, not at all. But I was letting myself hold me back. And it wasn't until I was talking to a counselor about this, and he gave me a nugget of information that sort of launched me into my dating career. And that was, I asked him, how do I know if a girl likes me? And he said, if you're talking to her, assume she does. Otherwise, she wouldn't be talking to you. If she's there and she's present, there's a kindling, there's an inkling, or at least the beginning of likings, if not full-on liking you. Okay? So what that means is you need to overestimate your attractiveness to the other person when you first start going out into the scene and just starting to talk to women. All right, so now what characteristics are they looking for? Because women are very perceptive. They know very quickly if you're the kind of guy for them. And what is it they're looking for? I'll tell you. And again, you're going to laugh at this, but they want a friend. You've always heard of friend zones, and you've heard of never get cast into the friend zone because you'll be ignored or whatever. That's wrong. Women are looking for a lifetime friend that they can confide in, that they know will be there for them, that they can talk to, and they feel comfortable and safe around. But the difference between being their friend that's a partner and being friend zoned is they want assertiveness, very polite assertiveness, very confident assertiveness, yet at the same time willing to listen and work with them type of assertiveness. And they want that in their friend. The people who get friend zoned are usually the timid, weak ones that are afraid to some degree, and they show that. Now it's difficult to create the aura of confidence, but you can fake it till you make it. That's what I did. I mean, really, I was on some dates so incredibly nervous on the inside, but focused and concentrated on projecting just a calm, stable confidence that it worked. And after I saw that work, you know what? I didn't have to fake it anymore. Oh, dating career. Okay, let's talk about that for a minute. After my marriage ended, just so you know where I'm coming from and how I got this experience, I got online and I got into the whole online dating thing. And after my girlfriend experience ended, because I went from my marriage to my dating my girlfriend, and then I had this gap of dating, trying that for a while, before I met my second wife. And in that time period, I probably went on about 150 first dates, and I got to be very quick at learning what would and wouldn't work for me. So for example, one of the shortest dates I ever went on was about 5 minutes. Sat down, across the table from this very nice lady, and it just wouldn't work. Specifically, we were very, very different in terms of political views, and it wasn't going to be compatible. So I said, thank you very much. I don't want to waste your time. I don't think we're going to work out. Here's why. And I left. I didn't want to waste my time. I didn't want to waste her time. Then after that, I went on about 30, 35 second dates and just a handful, maybe 5 or 6 third or fourth or fifth dates or whatever. But in that time period, I had the chance to practice the traits that I was observing that women were attracted to. In other words, every time I went out, I noticed there were certain behaviors or certain patterns or certain things that I would express about myself that really made a big difference. And we're going to get, I know we're still talking about it, we're going to get back into that now. And we're talking about the calm, confident, assertive friend. What that looks like and what that means in practice is you're there. When you're with her, you're there. You're interested in what she has to say, genuinely. I mean, don't sit there and pretend to be interested. If you're not interested in what she has to say, that's a big red flag and you shouldn't be in that relationship. But you're not trying too hard to win her over. At first, yeah, you want to express affection, and we'll talk more about that in a second, but you're not a puppy dog. You're not lapping up every single thing she says with a big smile on your face and praising her for the color of her nails every 6 seconds. But on the same hand, and this is, I think, more of a problem for most guys, is they don't want to be the cool, standoffish Dean Martin. No, it's not Dean Martin. Who's that guy that Rebel Without a Cause, way back in the day, died in his early 20s, that everyone portrays as like the strong kind of guy that women want? No, they don't want that in this day and age. Oh, gosh. James Dean, that was it. He died in a car accident when he was 25, and he wore the leather jacket, the jeans, and had the cigarette in his mouth, and he was super independent. And for some reason, that imagery translated into our society for decades. And a lot of young men, myself included, thought that that's how you get a woman. You stand there around them, you kind of ignore what they say, you pretend to be tough, and you stick your hands in your pockets, put one foot on the wall, and you look cool. That does not work. No, if you're standoffish, women are going to lose interest in you in this day and age, or they're going to think you're weird, or it's going to make them self-conscious, and it's not going to work. No, you want to be present, you want to be engaged with her, you want to be talking to her, you want to be laughing it up when appropriate, and you do not want to be standoffish. You don't want to be on either end of the spectrum of too attached or too disattached. Now, in the middle, when you're conversing with her and you're walking down that road of getting to know each other, the type of personality that you need to have is one of attached indifference. You're with her, you're the sole interest, but it doesn't matter that much to you if she needs to go talk to her friends for a little bit, let her go. It doesn't matter that much to you if she's all over you, just like adoring everything about it. Reciprocate in kind, okay? So, and I know this concept this is one of the core concepts that was very, very difficult to communicate. And this is what I think a lot of the online people are missing. How would a friend act? When you're wondering what to do in a relationship, what to do to win her over, don't try. Just think to yourself, well, what would a good friend do in this situation? She's having a bad day, a good friend would sit down and listen to her. She's having a great day, a good friend would celebrate with her. If she just wants to hang out and read a book, a good friend would hang out and read a book with her. And that's the part I think that a lot of these dating advice things are missing. They're telling you to be aggressive, or if you've ever read the book The Game, to have machismo or whatever they talk about in that. Like, no, that's not it. You don't have to have game. You don't have to be the parish bull. Oh, that's another thing, okay? Bad segue, I'm sorry, yes. Physical appearances in this day and age don't matter. That's why I spent so much time talking about the fact I'm overweight. I haven't worked out in the gym in I don't know how many years. I wear Costco like it's going out of style. It might be out of style, I don't know. But here's the secret. When a woman first sees you, she doesn't know if you're attractive or not. Let that sink in for a minute. Yes, especially the younger girls, like the teenagers and the 20-something-year-olds, think they know what a hot guy is. And it's going to be the stereotypical ripped abs, like perfect hair, big blue eyes, whatever, like whatever you think is a stereotypical good-looking guy, that's what they're going to buy into. But rarely do those relationships work out unless the guy's has an attractive of a personality to back that up. Okay? Women in their later 20s, after 25, 30s, 40s, and beyond, realize that when they look at you, your appearances don't matter, and they aren't even certain if you're attractive. What makes them think you're physically attractive is if they like you. And they start to like you if you have the personality that they're looking for, that confident, calm friend personality. Okay? And it was tough for me to realize that's how I got past the no ear, the big white patch on my face, and the dressing like a burlap sack for me would be like formal wear. That's how I got past that, was when I realized that at first when women see me, they don't know if I'm attractive or not. It's not until a few minutes or a few hours after chatting with them that they start to form that kind of an opinion. And if I portray myself appropriately, and if I'm the kind of guy that they're looking for, they think I'm hot. They really do. Trust me, I've had a lot of women tell me that. And I glance at myself in the mirror like, whoa, okay. And I've had all of my serious relationships tell me that not having the ear, they don't even notice it. It has no effect on them whatsoever. Women are much less visually oriented than men are. Men, I do believe to some degree, judge based on appearances. And we can go back and we can talk about that from an evolutionary point of view. We could say that's completely sexist, but that's an observed characteristic that I've seen in a lot of guys, and myself included. Whether that's right or wrong, that's for a different video, but that's just simply how a lot of guys operate. Women, not so. So remember, if you think you're not attractive, don't worry, you are, if you carry yourself off right. If you think you don't look good, women don't know that. They think you're attractive if you come across as a fun to be around guy. Okay, so what I was going to say with the parish bowl, there's no need to go out to the gym or run or be fit to get a woman's attention. On a very core level, women are looking for a partner that can help them navigate life. And I'm going to say something here that's completely incorrect and is going to probably draw a lot of ire from certain crowds and certain people, and I understand that. But I've also observed it to be true. on a base or subconscious level, women have a lot of fear in them regarding men. They see a stranger walking down the road at them, they are naturally afraid. And I don't know if they realize this on a conscious level, a lot of them do, or on a subconscious level. But and on some point they're afraid. I know a lot of women are aware of this. Like, for example, my wife told me, my second wife and my first wife told me that they are consciously afraid of every single guy that they meet for the first time. Think about it. That's horrible. I'm 6'5", I'm over 200 pounds. There's not much out there that I'm afraid of. When I walk down the street, I'm not worried about the sketchy looking dude across the road that's staring at me. All right, I look at him and go, and if it's someone that looks like they are having a hard time, I feel sorry, like they're having a really hard life. I wish them the best. But I don't have the same world outlook as a lot of women do. So think about this for a second. I know I'm saying that a lot, but I want you to stop and think about these things. When a woman meets you on a first date, this is why they do things like ask to meet in a public place or bring along a friend. Or if you're on a first date, they call someone after a few minutes, let them know that they're all right, or they call someone several times throughout the night. They're terrified. They're out there looking for a relationship while having fear of the people that they're trying to have a relationship with. That's amazing. It also is a reminder of how much they want to be in this. So that's why I say you have to be a good friend. You have to be disarming. You have to wear your emotions on your sleeve. Don't hold anything back. Don't hide anything back. Don't have a hidden agenda. Be open, be personable, chat with them, smile a lot, laugh, just be you. Because if you're holding something back, if you're holding if you have some sort of agenda, you're trying to play cool, they're gonna worry. They're gonna think it's the worst case scenario and you're creepy. All right? That's not what you want. Once you give off the creepy vibe, it's really hard to come back from that. If you smile a lot and you're open, creepy vibe averted. But to get back to my initial point, women are looking for someone that's going to help them navigate life today. And back in the caveman days, maybe even up to 400 or 500 years ago, maybe even 200 or 300 years ago, that was someone who was physically strong, because strength was needed to overcome adversity. You had to plow the fields, take care of the horses, lift bricks. A lot of jobs were physical jobs, physical labor. Not so anymore. In this day and age, a lot of that's taken care of. What women want now is someone that can help them navigate the social currents and eddies of our society. Because that's how we survive and we get ahead today. It's how well you're able to navigate society and communicate and get along with those around you. We're so completely dependent on so many people for our existence. You don't even realize it. Let's just stop for a minute and think about this. I have no idea how to make a shirt like this. I have to rely on hundreds of other people to put together these Costco shirts and sell them. My food, I don't grow anything. I don't raise cows. I'm reliant on the farmers that grow it, the people that deliver it to the stores that keep it safe for me to eat, and then the people that create recipes and tell me how to cook the stuff. And then I'm relying on the people that make the implements that I prepare it with. What is that, like a supply chain of several thousand probably? And that's just to eat. The electricity for my house, that's a whole nother group of people, probably tens of thousands, that are responsible for maintaining the electrical net, generating the electricity, creating the light bulbs, putting the house together where I live. We, without realizing it, and I didn't realize it until recently, are completely dependent on hundreds of thousands, millions of other people. And being able to be a contributing, active member of society is what helps us succeed, stay alive, maintain our livelihood, and that's what women are looking for these days. They're looking for someone who's socially able. And you have to show her that you're socially able by chatting with her, talking to her, making emotional and mental connections. And one of the biggest tools that you can have to turn a woman on, to make her feel attracted to you and to really, really get her excited is humor. Okay? Make her laugh. If you can make her laugh, that means so much more than having a fast car or good clothes or anything like that. And the reason is because humor is a social construct that is one of the most difficult things to achieve and pull off in this day and age. In other words, it is one of the most complicated aspects of our society is humor and making someone else laugh. If you can do that, you can prove to her that you are in fact smart, you are clever, you understand her, and you're able to put social connections together in a way that makes sense and a way that you know can make her laugh. Because think about what has to happen in order for you to make her laugh. You have to realize how certain things in life work. You have to realize how she thinks. Then you have to be able to take that and figure out what you have to know what she thinks is going to find fun, what she's going to find funny, and probably is something she hasn't thought of before. You're introducing something new into her life, taking known elements of society, you're analyzing it in your own mind, you're making these connections, you're doing critical thinking, and then you're communicating with her in an attempt to make her laugh, which she's going to appreciate, because you wouldn't be trying to make her laugh if you didn't like her, if you didn't want her to feel happy, and she's going to realize that. So humor and let's maybe not do the stupid dad jokes, things that roll the eyes until you've been married for a while. But the genuine examples of humor do more than anything else in the world to prove your social worth to a woman. And that's what they're looking for, is social worth. That's really what it comes down to. So I know I've laid a lot out there right now, and I can go into this in greater detail, but the two big things that I want to dispel, or the two big things that I want to get across right now, are one, dispelling the myth that you have to be hot, put together. I mean, yes, have basic hygiene. I shave, I take a shower every day. That's like establishing a minimum baseline. I think these clothes look good because they were clean. That's why I'm wearing them. You don't have to have good fashion sense. You don't have to have a ton of money. You don't have to, on that story, okay, so my wife's a doctor, but before I met her, I was dating a different doctor. And she fell in love with someone who was a dock worker, made minimum wage. But he made her laugh. He was kind, he was a good friend to her, and she really liked him. And so it didn't work out between us, but you know what? That's when I took away and started to learn that it's about personality and what's on the inside, and that's such a cliche, than what's on the outside. So first thing is, just remember, all you have to do is be a good friend to them and be a calm, confident friend. Be assertive. And let's talk a little bit more about that because it's so key. When I say be assertive, it means when she asks you your opinion on something, don't do things like say, oh, I don't know, what do you want? A lot of women don't like indecisive guys. Even if your opinion is going to contradict hers, that's okay. But you do need to be able to explain it and back up why you feel that way about something. The more you can express what you're thinking, and I know a lot of guys are bad about talking about their feelings, but the more words you can use to just simply describe the thoughts going on in your mind, that's going to come across as emotionally mature and assertive. So, for example, when my wife says something like, why didn't you pick the kid up when she was crying? Okay. Kid was crying for 20 minutes in the crib. This happened the other day. I didn't pick her up. My wife noticed that, got a little upset at me. Well, and here's what I said. I noticed several days ago that the same thing happened while you were at work. Our baby started to cry in the crib. I picked her up, and for the rest of the day, she felt very bad. She was temperamental. She didn't do well, and it was a bad experience. So what I'm trying today is to let her cry it out a little bit so she can get more rest, so she can hopefully feel better once she does wake up. And explaining my thought process, even if that's a bad decision, I have no idea if it was the right thing to do. My wife has no idea if it was the right thing to do. We're trying. But explaining my thought process and having my wife know it came from a good place and knowing what I was thinking made an emotional and a mental connection with my wife that she went, oh, okay, I understand that. And she was happy with me for making that choice. Whether it was a good choice, I don't know. We still don't know. But the reasoning that went into it was the key. And my ability to express it to her was key. So be thoughtful in your opinions. Be firm. When you make a choice, think about it. And if she asks you, why did you make that choice? Take as much time as you possibly can to explain it to her. Then if something comes up, okay, and this is another way to be sort of assertive but not being a jerk. If you guys are going along and something happens in your relationship, gently and calmly point that out. Say, hey, I don't like this when, or I feel this way when this happens. And this gets into a lot of the other videos I talk about how to resolve disputes and how to have a proper argument, but that's not what we're talking about here. But don't be afraid to mention when something's bothering you when you guys are dating. Because the sooner you do that, you know what? I have these epiphanies. And I've just made the connection that the sooner you're able to point out something that's bothering you on a date, the sooner you're able to talk about it and try to work through the problem, and the sooner she's able to evaluate your problem resolving skills and vice versa. If you guys are having serious, like long drawn out fights within the first 3 to 6 months and aren't able to resolve them, that's a big red flag, generally speaking. Because that's sort of the grace period when we all try to wear these masks of, oh, everything's fine, I love this person so much, I'm infatuated, the sex is great, whatever. I'm going to pretend to ignore, not actually ignore because you can't, but pretend to ignore all the problems and not say anything. But the sooner you can gently bring up the things that you're thinking and the problems you're having, the better your long-term relationship. Okay, I know I've talked a lot. It may seem like rambling, but I swear it all goes together perfectly inside of my head. If you do have questions about anything I said, please drop something in the comment. I'm happy to explain it more. But remember, looks doesn't matter, age doesn't matter. You'll notice the age gaps in my two relationships, my dating relationship and my marriage. What does matter is who you are inside and how well you come across and how well you demonstrate your, I don't want to call it manhood, because that's such, I admit that's very sexist, and I don't want to be sexist. How much you demonstrate your maturity, your emotional maturity to your potential partner. And that's really what they're looking for, is a friend that's emotionally mature. And try to make them laugh. Don't forget that part. All right, let me know if you have questions.